Oh, hello everyone. I'm Dan Lutz and I'm here on the front lines all by myself. No Tank and not even Elisa. Well, those are two kittens. They are actually sisters about a month apart from a mother and daughter. But, you know, there's probably about 2 years apart between the mother and the daughter. But they both got pregnant with the same father. Don't ask me about feline relationships and how that all works out. But anyway, that's so we had 6 kittens, and then 3 from the mother, 3 from the daughter, and each one had 3. And then about 4 or 5 days ago, 3 of them disappeared. 2 of the older and 1 of the younger group. The 2 of the older, I believe, just decided to go exploring and just figured out that they're free, and they went and didn't figure their way back. The other younger, I think, the father disposed of it in the night. So that's part of the trait of the feline community is the males will take out the younger boy males. I believe it was a boy. Hard to tell at the age, but think so. But he probably did. But anyway, these are 2 of the 3 that are left. One of them I'm intending on keeping the older. A very brave cat. It's not you know, no problem from the very beginning. Me holding it and carrying it around, or you know, it would come to me, and you know, when I call it. The others were all very scaredy cats. So bravery has its reward. Okay, so I just want to also say that Tank is not going to be here. Tank did launch Lawful America, and we'll go look at that site so we can see what is there and go through that. There's also a message as well, and we'll go ahead and go through that. But you know, it is a lot of work to basically focus on that, and it takes a lot out of you to build up something like that. And so he basically is not feeling well. So he's taking some time off. He probably needs to sleep after all this. I know I know what that's like. Actually, I stopped working on the website I've been working on. Was working on for, you know, probably about 2 months solid, and then for the last month, and I've been working on the blockchain side of things and the architecture for that. But about ready to go back into, you know, tidying up the website again. So you know, it's a back and forth, but you know, we're looking at a Christmas Day launch or soft launch for just the leaders. It's kind of like more of a private launch to let people know what we've been working on. And I also invite everyone in this audience, if you'd like to participate, please contact me. I'll add you to the New Path Forward group. You may have seen on occasion, you know, when I'm come on, you'll see me with this background. That's the New Path Forward background. So, okay, so let me go ahead. I'm going to now just put on the screen for this message that is queued up and ready for Lawful America. I can make that a little bit bigger. Let's see. It's a little bit better. Adjustments here. All right, we'll go with that. Important message to the militia.
I'm working on this constantly, but I really need help with this. I really need people from the militia. I need individuals, particularly right now. I need the militia to touch the Chicago area, and I mean this. The actual militia. Now that was advice given to me by the highest authority on the planet. Because at some point, we have to really take note of a couple things. One, police are policy enforcement. So they are enforcing policies that are not constitutional. That's one thing. So the sheriffs, I know we got a sheriff in our group. I just got appointed to be the sheriff. I'll tell you what, I talked to them tonight, and I told them we have a better system, and I want to implement the system nationwide. And if I can get sheriffs and other people who want to step up to be a sheriff and form a lawful, constitutional enforcement group that ensures that our laws are actually our laws of the Constitution, that they are not enforcing policies that are corrupt and violate our fundamental rights. That we know in the Constitution there is no emergency that overrides the fundamental rights of the people. Those are rights that are given to us by God from birth. They are our birthrights. You cannot take away our birthrights. You don't have the right. We didn't contract with you. We don't consent to that. Now, that right there is what we need. Every single state, every county, we need people that are willing to step up and be the enforcement. Now, I'll tell you what, I'll organize. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me at Stephen Rowe, STEFFENROWE at republicmilitia.com. Let me tell you something. I know I know how powerful these guys think they are, and they think they gained us right now, right? Believe me, we have so much more built. As much as we talk about it, you have no idea what we have built behind the scenes. That's Stephen Rowe at republicmilitia.com. And I tell you what, I want to bring all the militias together on the same page because we've got to stand up together. And I'm not talking about doing something violent. I'm talking about knowing that we have the ability to take up arms, and then we stand with a woman like Karen Murkowski and get her baby back and stand in the face of that court and say, what you are doing is a crime. What you are doing is not okay. We will not accept that. That the police department, every single one of them, throw out of their ass because they don't do it. Because they take a 2-year-old boy found dead with 2 grown men with 2 restraining orders against him, and their conclusion is, there's no suspicious circumstances here. This is perfectly normal. Where the hell did you grow up? That's normal. That's not normal. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that this is what is okay. If every one of you scumbag, loser, pedophile, listen, I know this for a fact. I've watched this happen myself growing up. I've watched this one-legged pedophile destroy all my cousins, all the kids, except for my little ones. Everybody got tore up. And I watched the wife of that man sit there and do nothing. And do nothing. And so I'm telling you, that woman ended up dying by herself, suffocated from her own weight, from the guilt of what she'd done. She enabled that pedophile. Every one of you is just like her. Every one of you. Every single person out there who just stands by and does nothing, who allows this to continue to go on, who doesn't care enough about a kid, doesn't care enough about anybody to stand up and say enough. At what point, when they take your kid, then you're going to look around for people to help you because of you? The same thing you did. Nothing. You need to go get on somebody's case. You need to go get in somebody's face and say, this is happening. It's a real thing. We give you every piece of evidence. How long is everyone going to deny this is happening? When we posted 100 pieces of evidence to show exact timeline, protocol, documentation, medical, we posted everything to show you what happens. This woman is not some woman who went off and abused her child, whatever category it is in your mind is happening to. It's not. It's a good young lady, hardworking, cares about her kids. She already lost a 2-year-old, and these savages down there, they're going to let that 4-year-old girl continue to rape. Why? Because they make a little money? Money? You are destroying a legacy. You are destroying something that is priceless. It is intangible. You have no idea what it can be. It is the hopes and dreams, the aspirations, the beauty, the essence of all the life in that one little girl, and we're just going to let her continue to break by these dirty old men? My God! I am begging you, please, beg somebody who's attending, some of you men in that police force, one of you, get this out there, tell them, do something. The militia, get on up, do what you have to do and get that little girl home. Do it lawfully. Go take that judge and get him out. And the whole law system there. Look, I know there's order of the assassins there. I know that. I know there's an Illuminati cluster there. I know you got all the Satan worshippers there. Get them out too. Because they'll kill you in a heartbeat.
I think that's actually where my hit. That's actually where the hit came out on me, was from that area. So, I know who you are.
All right. That was from our broadcast. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. Yeah. So that was a very intense broadcast, and I just want to, we're really at the time with everything that's happening inside the Trump, we have Trump leading us, right, on the political front worldwide. Many people have done these efforts. My whole life, I've seen people working towards freeing themselves and us, because they recognize this from a very early age. You know, I've known about this. I was studying this at age 16. Right, when I first met the first person that explained to me about the birth certificate and the scarecrow entity and that. But everyone who's been trying so hard for so long, they get to a certain distance, and then the system is just so insurmountable. They get to a point and they say, I don't know what to do. I did everything I know how to do. I'm here. First, where is everyone else? They get a few people coming along with them, but where is everyone else? People don't get it. They don't understand what has been in their place. Well, landmine bomb, another word bomb, they say understand. They're not clear about those things, right? And we have to talk in these strange ways. I mean, we learn what we think words mean, and then all of a sudden we have to, check ourselves. It's stupid. But that being said, that also means there's all these groups that have done so much to prepare. And this is the time. The tide is way past turning. I just saw yesterday on Edge of Wonder talking about Project Looking Glass. 2 timelines. And why Hillary was so confident that she was going to be the president. And they really put that back to Project Looking Glass and how they always saw beyond 2012 2 possible timelines. Timeline 1, spiritual awakening, rising above, right? The other, one world dictatorship, calamity, hell on earth. And Hillary saw that, and she saw her as president, and they were working towards. They were heading in that direction. With Trump being in office, that timeline is gone. It's gone. It's not coming back. We've made these steps. We're making all these steps to move forward and make a better life for everyone. To bring abundance back to the planet, for everyone to experience happiness, right? Or at least be able to pursue happiness. So if you've been in a militia before and you're not doing anything now, get back in touch. Make sure that this is the time. Don't wait for someone else to come around and tell you to do it. In this action that the tank has put together with Lawful America, it's really using one of the front lines. Vaccines. Grand juries to basically push this through and stop it, right? Because it's against our rights, our constitutional rights, our unalienable rights, our unalienable rights. And that's a good place to start. But it doesn't, but with this particular conversation we were having there with Michelle Walker was really about saving a child. So this is the time to take action. If you've been in these constitutional groups before, been part of patriot groups before, part of the Tea Party, part of any kind of group that basically wanted to, look at America as being a force for good on the planet, and you knew you wanted to fight this cabal, this deep state. This is the time. Reach back out, contact the people, join your local militias. It's in the Constitution. Be part of militia. Be part of not just the militia, but as part of militia, one of the other things you do is join the efforts for the grand juries. 30,000 people. I heard on THI broadcast there with the group National Liberty Alliance. They had 1,200 people that have now volunteered. Need 30,000 paid positions across the country in every county. 3,000 counties in the country. All of these are positions that have to be filled, and just listening to them, there's things that I didn't know about these positions. And I don't want to overstep too much. I do have some of their documents up. I can basically, but committeemen is one of these elected positions, right? And then the other is what is it? Executive. There's someone who's kind of like the guy that runs the show, assembly. I don't know, is it assemblyman maybe? I forget what the other one was called. Anyway, but these are positions that have been there and have just gone by the wayside. People just stopped. Right? The other system overwhelmed us. The de facto government overwhelmed us with pretty pictures and bells and whistles and a gilded cage and all of the stuff, right? Because they had control of the money. With the control of the money, they can control everything, right? Except for one thing. When it gets to the point in their plan where they want to come up and cause a complete reset of the world because the system is only designed to last for a bit of time, and then they collapse it all and then buy up all the pieces. That's what they're trying to do again. They're trying to do it again. Repeat the same process, this fiat system, debt-based system. But in the time of the collapse, they have a problem. And it is that they can be looked at as the ones that cause the problem, and everyone goes after them. But they always cover themselves with a war. They always cover themselves with natural calamities. Everything to get people focused on something other than what they did to everybody for all these years. People are always focused on the here and now, on what's happening right in front of them, right? And they're really looking too much concerned about what happened in the past and not really looking too far out in the future. They just want to make sure that they take care of what's going on right now. Because of this, they know that they can basically saturate the news cycle. They can put things in front of you. They can cause all sorts of problems, and then make their great escape and put up the new system, right? And of course, they'll say, oh, it's going to be asset-backed and gold-backed for a while. For a while. Until things get established and people are starting to rebuild and everything's okay, and then they slip in the fiat again. They slip in the debt. They control people with the debt. But this time they're way out on the edge with what they want to do. All right, and now they've taken to such an extent that they want to just literally kill off most of the herd to reshape it into something else, make a hybrid, put in technology, whatever, doesn't matter. But in this time, we now have someone that's leading the nation and the world, and that is Trump. And you can see that the nations of the world are lining up. Not the ones that were cabal laden and they had no choice, but the other countries that really wanted to get out of the system. And they didn't like being in the position they were. They were tricked into becoming pawns in the game anyway by the cabal. I mean, everyone is pitted against everyone else. Everyone just has to stop that. But this is the time when Trump is now leading the world that we can now rise up. We can become the militia. right to bear arms, the right to carry weapons, right, to protect our country from those that become a de facto government that doesn't represent the people but represent their own selfish interests. And that is where we find ourselves. And the faster we rise up, the more power gets behind Trump, and the weaker they become, and the faster we make the transition. Taking over the jury system, taking over the courts, all this kind of stuff. This is the stuff that we'll be coming from the bottom up, and Trump is coming from the top down, which is the same strategy that they were using to compress us. But now they're the ones that are now being compressed. Well, I'm going to go over the site, but before that, let me also just say I did post in the WWG1 WGA.love group the link for this broadcast. If you'd like to come on Zoom and ask some questions, come on in and then raise your hand. I've got June in the waiting room, but she doesn't want to, so she just came on to listen. Well, thank you, June, for participating. But if you'd like to come on, I even sent the message to Tui Loma Loma from Fiji, where the day begins, for him to come on if he'd like to also join. Coincidentally, or in synchronicity, Tui said, "Hey, I'd like to come on tomorrow or the next day." And I said, "No, today." So, well, you can come on tomorrow too, Tui. If you can't make it today, that's fine. But we'll just keep it rolling and see if you're going to be able to make it. But take it easy. All right. Also, on this front, it is set up for you to become a member. I am looking for people to help with expenses. So if you're there and you want to go ahead and contribute, please do so. It would be very appreciative at this time. My project is well underway, and the programmers are programming away on the new coin. Right, so it's in development, launching on December 25th because of Chris Kringle. The idea of providing a gift of abundance to the Kringle community is the reason for that. It's not a hard launch. It's not all gangbusters. It's about bringing in the people that are very much interested in learning about it and have been leaders in this community for the last, I've been here for 4 years now, actually. So, as of last month, it's really 4 years. So it didn't launch until March of 2016, right? So, but this is something that is, I want to grow. I want to grow WWG1 WGA.love as a place where we can put up videos and host them, and also find all the other channels and put them in order and put some of that, write blogs and put those things also out there. If you'd like to be a contributor and write blogs for the site, you're welcome to do that. I know we've got some prolific writers out there. I just forgot that I was going to ask Doris Newman. Hello, Doris. I know you like to write. I said, you might want to write for Frontlines. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of good things to say, and a lot of stuff that's appearing in our group. Sorry, I just got a flash on the screen. What happened there? Are we still broadcasting? Just checking. Systems are go. Okay, sorry. Didn't know if something had happened there. Oh, I see. We lost June. Oh, June's back now. That's what that is. June stepped off for a moment. Okay, so, but if you'd like to participate and help me build up this site, I would really appreciate that. I put a lot of work on putting up the structure of it, but and adding more content, I don't have the bandwidth. my bandwidth. I had to focus on I say like trying to build. Well, first we're doing front lines, and then all things associated with that, plus others and other. So it was it seemed like this is a good time to go ahead and start trying to organize that since there's some new ways of actually putting videos up on that site, and what may be happening elsewhere. That might be the best place to arrange to basically put up our, the places to display. Now, I know that YouTube has the channel, has the platform, and we're here. Thankfully, we're still here. But it's really crazy to see how they taper our subscriptions to one a day. I've been looking, one subscriber a day. I don't know how many join, but they make sure that many leave, except for one, on a daily basis. So they're all dialed in. So in a year, I'll get 365 subscribers, right? But I know that we're reaching other people beyond that, right? The views don't count, where I'm sure that we were, I've done many videos, that were getting tens of thousands of views. Most of the views were, 3,000, 5,000 views. We started doing these with DANK. It was, 2 and 3,000 a day. I have a tendency to believe that we have more than, now we're on our let's see how many viewers we have right now. 40 current viewers. Now, since December 10th, that dramatically dropped. It took it was always 120 to 140. So that now I just say, they knocked off 100 off of the viewers. So it's really disappointing when you know you're putting so much work into something, not to have that visual reward coming right back. But we know what's going on, so we just can't look at that to know what exactly is happening there. So, what else to go over? Oh yes, I know. I was going to go over some of the sites. Let me go ahead and pull that up. I'll go back to this. This is a National Liberty Alliance, but that's not the one I will show you. Here's Lawful America. Now the site is complete. So let's just go over what is built here by DANK. So there is right here, contribute to restore the Republic. So this is basically a way to contribute. It takes you to PayPal, and you can go ahead and make a donation there. Please do. Please do help move this project forward. And if you have to make a choice between me and Lawful America right now, make it to Lawful America. If you can do both, that's really fine as well. Okay, log in or join here. So if you click there, it'll take you to the login or join. Now I've already joined. Remember, log in here. Uh-oh. It's not auto-filling in. I wonder why. Password. Paste. Copy username. Paste. Log in. That's odd. I never have that happen. So take me there. All right, so see, now I'm logged in. It shows me right here. Okay, so let's go over this. To ensure the integrity of the Republic is maintained regardless of the obstacles that face the country or the people, it is necessary for the people to diligently investigate and enforce constitutional law. If governmental powers are allowed to grow without oversight uh, and participation from the governed, they can become corrupted by the influence of foreign agents, internal conspiracy, and compartmentalized ignorance perpetrated by the secrets and misinformation. We strive to ensure the protection of the unalienable rights guaranteed to the American people by the U.S. Constitution. That's interesting. It's a lowercase u period, capital S, lowercase, and then a period, and then Constitution with a capital C. Just noting. To participate in the protection of your freedom, we invite you to examine the evidence supporting the people's claims of contractual violations of the state and federal governments in violating their oaths of office to uphold the Constitution. The most egregious violations are being made by the civil court system of the United States of America, Incorporated. Voting instructions. Read the content and explanation of the presentment by clicking the presentment tab in the upper right hand corner of the page. Well, that's up here. Let's not click on it yet. Let's see what else is here, all the instructions. Then click on the Exhibits tab next to and begin by reading the Claim Review tab. After you read the claim review, examine the evidence supporting your claims in order of the numbered exhibits, starting with evidence 1. After reviewing all of the evidence thoroughly, it should be click. There's a typo there, so it should be a K. On the Vote tab, and read the questions carefully and register your vote to be recorded in the court of record and submitted as part of the record to the grand jury. So I'm going to slide down here just to see what's here before we click on any tabs. The Hero Complex in New York. Contribute to restore the Republic is another button. Okay, let's go back up here. So now let's go to the Presentment tab. So S. Rowe versus USA Inc. Life, Liberty, and Pursuit of Truth. Section Summary. Affirmation of Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Truth, Stephen Rowe, December 7th, 2019. I, a living soul, sue juris, being of age, of sound mind, and competent nature, affirm this statement of my own violation without influence or perversion by any outside source. The statements herein are the truth as experienced by me, witnessed by me, and verified by research completed by experts in their respective fields of study as it pertains to the issues described in this lawful document. Supporting evidence, including files, links, and photographs, have been provided to support the claims of the statements made in this document. This affidavit is for recourse of the that a free man is entitled, recorded as truth under the penalty of perjury, and reserving the right to amend and be notified that if any lien item is proven in error without recourse and without prejudice. So collective discovery, identify and enforcement law. So let's see, what do we have here? And then we'll start this. And then the law of the land, constitutional law, heading 2. And the People's Court, personal responsibility, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, exists by permission, corporations equals artificial persons, violation of the Constitution, Black's Law, 4th edition, unalienable and impossible. Oaths of office to violate is treason. Black's Law, 6th edition, private versus public. And then there's an evidence button on these and contribute to restore the button. The Republic, sorry. There's an evidence button down at the very bottom. So I'm going to click on that one. Now, if I read through everything, it will probably be a 3-hour broadcast. So I encourage everyone to come back here and read. This is evidence, fake news. Got some videos. It's about the Gardasil. This takes us right to the evidence number 2. I'd also like to point out that this is the first time me going through the site myself, which is something that when I go to a new website, I always go through the whole website, see what entitles the entire thing, and then I go back and I read through things. So this is something that we should be prepared to go through and understand all of this. More evidence. Presentment for grand jury investigation, civil and criminal charges. So this is where the meat comes in, right? To go after them on that. Okay. Okay. Evidence continued. Conflicts of interest. I can. Informed Consent Action Network. Evidence number 4. Toxic aluminum in vaccines. And how much can a child take in, right? What's the maximum for toxicity, right? And how much is actually in there? Okay, so that's everything there. So also that looks like it took us right into exhibits. Oh, notice this says evidence 4. We're about 5 and 6. There's no evidence button down here. Just a note. Exhibits number 5 here. Yep, it's something new. So that there's no button at the end of 4 to take you to 5. Make a note. Sid. Sure to tell Tang. And evidence number 6. Okay. And then vote. Here's the vote button. Now, I'm going to click on it just to see what it looks like, but I'm not going to vote because I didn't finish reading everything. I already know which way I'm going to vote. But I already know what the evidence shows. Here we go. I'm 18 years old or older. Yes. I have read the evidence presented offline. No, well, I will put that, but I'm not going to submit the final. Based upon the information shared in the presentment page and referenced directly from the Constitution, United Nations, all contractual operatings under their direction have no jurisdiction or authority to dictate policy enforcement, unconstitutional mandates, or create laws, rules, policies of any kind that have to be acknowledged, by American people or enforcement from any government. Any attempt to do so will, as an act of war against the American people and an attempt to usurp the authority of the government, installing a de facto government. Right, based upon the exhibits presented, the evidence, page 2, demonstrating that the contrast between the facts gathered about the Gardasil vaccine from clinical studies and the advertisement from the news media coverage being reported stating that the opposite results, there is an obvious need to hold the media, healthcare professionals, vaccine companies, and regulatory authorities responsible by way of a grand jury investigation into the criminal violations of informed consent, conspiracy to commit fraud, and criminal racketeering. The grand jury is necessary because the regulatory authorities appear to have a conflict of interest with the accused and have not acted in a manner that reflects the seriousness of the potential damage being caused. Yeah, I would also agree with that. Based upon the exhibits presented on the evidence, page explaining that aluminum is toxic for an adult in the amount of 5 micrograms, I believe it is, or MC grams. And the exhibit showing that the FDA, HHS, and the CDC have not done one study to measure the side effects and the impact of the delivery of multiple vaccines and collective effects on a newborn. The immediate injunction of the vaccines need to be imposed by the rule of the people to properly study the effects and impact of injecting 4,050 micrograms of aluminum into a newborn in the first year of life, 810 times the toxic dose, if the CDC recommended vaccine schedule is followed. This measure is necessary due to the gross negligence of the regulatory authorities having not done any studies as mandated by Congress to show the cause for such a toxic ingredient for the its potential damage. I agree to that too. Based on the exhibits on the evidence, page 6, the CDC, drug companies, and every organization that is paid with taxes, profits from either their salary or royalties, thus creating a conflict of interest that has prevented them from being able to make sound decisions as the regulatory authority and oversight for the safety and efficacy of the vaccine administration, production, and delivery. This most important evidence is the Freedom of Information Request statement with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in which HHS stated that they had no record of any reports or studies to prove the need of vaccines in different populations because they had not felt the need, despite the congressional mandate, to perform them or to report on them. Amazing, right? Yeah. Right. The immediate injunction of all mandated vaccines, double-blind studies according to common FDA standards, and the removal of any unconstitutional de facto law that implies the removal of liberty from the parties involved in this criminal negligence. Well, that would be agree right there, and then send. Boom. Again, I'm going to go back and read, but I'm already up on all of these. But I want to go back and read everything, so I'm really well versed because it's important for us to be able to carry this information forward to people and explain it. And the best way is if we read it, and it's well worth reading. So, all right, let's. That contributes. I mean, that constitutes the whole thing right there. So let's continue on here. 1 second. All right. So, all right. So, as I said, that was thank you, Tank, for all your efforts in putting that together. There's a lot of work, regardless of a typo or something like that. The everything that's there is so valuable. We really need to take the time to in effect go through this and really be up to speed on all the information there. So please go ahead and read it, and then go ahead and fill out that vote, and go ahead and let's start this. And then we need to go then and volunteer and be part of the grand jury system. To be part, we need 30,000 people. We can make that. That's not a lot of people. As I said, one of my videos I've done, a lot more than that. Tens of thousands is not a difficult thing to achieve, especially when we get this into the hands of some of the other alternative media people, which I still said that last video we were talking about where we need to get those out there as much as possible. I went and posted the links some places as well. Everyone must do the same thing. Everyone must bring the attention to this, bring the attention to Lawful America, bring the attention and get involved. That's really what it's all about, right? Our involvement is, things right like what I'm doing here on the front lines, right? This started. It's a daily show. Why daily? Because this is something that sometimes I want to do another video in the day, but if I start doing that, I can't do other things. Because I see things that come up I want to cover. I'll give you, these are some fun things. I brought up Project Looking Glass, right? And it's kind of interesting to think about time travel and it going back to Tesla. Well, it also goes back to other times. It goes back to things where time is not what we think it is, right? And there's the mathematics of things, which is the language of the universe, the multiverse. Mathematics is there. We discover it, and then we use the math to explain things. And when we talk about time as a linear tick tick tock, this feature that we've built into our clocks, tick tick tock, is something that we have adapted ourselves to. The world exists on time space, right? And then beyond that. But it's about under Einstein's theory of relativity, everything is relative to the observer. So is time. You ever notice when you think time is moving so slowly that you wonder why everything is moving so slowly? And other times it's going really fast, and you can't get enough done. You can't get so many things going. You don't have enough people bringing all the things you need to do because things are going so fast. It's relative to you and your perspective. Well, Project Looking Glass is also saying that time is relative to the observer of the future time that they're showing as a possibility from the observer's point of view, such as, say, Hillary Clinton. Her perspective, her view, what that possible future was. And maybe another one that was a timeline with Trump, which is the timeline we're on. They still think that she can get back in. You think it's possible? No. We're many, many steps down this road. Everyone has awoken to the fact that what is going on, and their symbolism that they're hiding in plain sight is now becoming very vivid. There you catch how many people that came up for this impeachment farce, where they brought it to the judicial, and Nadler was overseeing these judges. These law professors coming up and saying everything that they're saying about it. Why do they all have a Band-Aid on? Did they have a cut? Or were they bleeding for some reason? Wonder if they got all they all had the same accident at relatively the same time at the same event. I wonder. But their symbolism is shown, right, by everything they're doing, and that will be their downfall, right? Because we can see what they've been doing, and it's the only way they know how to operate. It's been part of who they are and how they've operated. They don't know what else to do. But we're winning this battle, right? We've proceeded way past anything that shows that they have any capability. They're just circling the drain. They're on their way down. The swamp is being drained. It's not as fast as a lot of us would like. We also, when we want to save children from the events that are going on, we want to do it right now. There is no excuse, right? Why it can't save a child right now. There is none. But it is the case that this is the situation where we can't get it done all in this hour, in this moment. But we can shorten that time if everybody rises up. And the Project Looking Glass, did they see this? Of course they did. On the observers that were looking. I take it back to Tesla, right? That it was Tesla's plan. Now everybody's saying the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's good. I'll take a brownie point on that. And this is something where he must have saw the possible future and how he said, he wanted to bring the best of technology to the world, but he could see what was going on. How do he maneuver around the cabal? He had to deal with the cabal. He had to deal with this. All through the formation of the central bank, all the way up into the selling off of the people, as chattel. He had to live through that and see what was happening. He's a smart guy. He knows what it was all about. He knows that he wasn't getting the money from the one side, from the J.P. Morgans, but he did get the money from Trump. Let me bring up something. Switch back to the other page for a moment. Let me go ahead and put that one moment. Left off right over here. Let me go over to here. No, not that one. Let's try this one. Right here. You heard about those books, right? That are about Trump, and written in the 140 years ago, 120 years ago. Ingersoll Lockwood, The Collection, right? There's 4 books, The Last President or 1900. However that term comes in, I don't know, right? Then there's Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump. And then there's Baron Trump's Marvels, right? And then there's another one. Oh, that's better look at. They've shortened it up here. That's what it is. So Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey right here, right? And then there's Laconics of Cult, right? Which is it's about the cults. Right here, the Laconics of is a very different book, deeply anti-religious, and it questions how human beings are being controlled by different cults or religions with their shadowy gods of the shadowy thrones, and the author attempts to creating a humanitarian new cult, which he calls the immortal human, free of the shackles of the organized religion. So, I mean, that's that last one. I'll just read through this entire thing. It's pretty fascinating. Okay, Ingersoll Lockwood, The Collection, 4 in 1. This collection contains 4 books by Ingersoll Lockwood, who have surprised the world of the 21st century. The Last President, or 1900, Travels and the Adventures of Little Baron Trump, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and Laconics of Cult, Ingersoll Lockwood. So this is from August 2nd of 1941 to September of 1918. Was an American lawyer and writer and an ambassador to German Empire, appointed by Abraham Lincoln. My goodness, appointed by Abraham Lincoln. As a writer, he particularly known today for his Baron Trump novels. Many of his works have been described as prophetic because it contains strange coincidence with the U.S. president. His main character name is Baron Trump, about the adventures of a boy who lived in Castle Trump and travels to Russia and has relations there. Again, Russia tie-in, right? His other book, The Last President, is about the president who lives in New York and gets elected against all odds. Many of his books have been hidden for over 100 years and have resurgence because of the strange coincidences with the Trump family. However, The Laconics of Cult is a very different book, deeply anti-religious. It questions how human beings have been controlled by different cults and religions with their shadowy gods and their shadowy thrones. In the author's attempts to create a humanitarian new cult he calls the immortal human, free of the shackles of organized religion. So I was just looking through some of that after I was looking. I found this is an audio book. It's Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. I think it's 6 hours and 20 minutes long if you want to have an audio book and hear it. All right. And then I also found this. This is actually the book itself, and you can actually page through it. Right? Shows all the chapters. I was actually thinking of going through this and marrying it up in a video, and follow along with the 6 hour audio and record it with this, and then stop and make some commentaries along the way. I think that's a project, but I don't have the time. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, and let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, that's the special militia. There's something else. Oh, I might have closed that down. Yeah, I probably closed it down. All right. Well, there's another video that I had put up. I believe, let me just go to my Facebook. So I posted it there. I believe it's, oh, what happened there? Ah, my keyboard is acting up. That's also been a problem. You know, when you're trying to type and the keyboard is giving out, and hey, I hit that letter. And what letter? Like E. Ah, you gotta make sure I press it really hard. It doesn't take. Over here. I don't use my Facebook too much, but I do post some things like videos that I want to make sure to find if I don't want them to get lost. This was interesting. This was Tulsi, and why people are liking Tulsi. This is the one, Through the Looking Glass. So this one is very well put together. It tells the story. It's an hour. So we're talking directly to the board, learn our comms. DEFCON 1, it's a marker. So the child was inspired by the main character.
And a shifty shift. Little shifty shift.
Little shifty shift.
It's got the little 10-inch neck. What size shirts do you need, Adam? I wear a size 9. 9.
Through the Looking Glass.
He will not make the LSU football team, that I can tell you. Boom.
Boom.
And the neck is gone.
Alice will be unified again. So anyway, this is a very good video. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I just wanted to kind of point it out how it goes. But it goes into everything about Tesla, Trump, how that transition happened, what Project Looking Glass is, the people involved in Project Looking Glass, right? You want to see what have them talk about it and what they found out, and how the ones that were looked at actually, how do they manipulate time? Now they can basically nudge it, get a little push this way, a little push that way, but it looks like we're on this timeline, and there's no pushing it away from right now. Right? We're good, but it's good to have an understanding of where we're going. This ties in with so much of that Trump is laying out. Alice has been pointed out to be Hillary, and that she had looked through the looking glass and saw herself as president. That's why she was so confident. So even though they fixed it, they rigged the election, they did everything, Trump still won. That's been fascinating anyway. So, all right. So I think that's good for today. And get back to work. I'm working on the governance part of the new system. So how the people are to work within this new environment and have this function. So I'm still writing that up and add that to the website. Other than that, the website is complete. I gotta split up some things, make things a little bit more clear. That couple of those kind of things, and then try to get ready to do a kind of presentation for December 25th. So please, if you are interested, just go ahead and contact me. I'd love to involve as many people as possible on the soft launch. This is all our group, right? we're all moving forward together. So let's make some steps. So that sounds good for today. We'll talk. Be sure to subscribe. We're still here. Thumbs up, positive comments, and then we'll go ahead and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, tank.